Hello and welcome to this episode of the Proteus Files. In this episode, we will discuss the MPO Conspiracy. The El Paso MPO Conspiracy, like all conspiracies, is about money. The MPO determines how to spend federal and state gasoline revenues on state transportation. In 2014, Texas voters dramatically changed the amount of money by voting to change the allocation. On January 2015, the new scheme was adopted, raising the total funds from about $2 million a year to over $1 billion for the first year. Of that total, about $63 million was allocated to El Paso. Whoever controls the MPO, controls how that pot of money is spent. In this episode we will answer the question of how Claudia Ordaz ties into this money and why Jose Landeros was coaching her at the July 14, 2015 City Council meeting. Ray Caballero, Jose Rodriguez, and Elliot Shapley convened a court of inquiry looking into whether El Paso was being shortchanged by the state of Texas in 1994. This created the belief that El Paso's solution to its economic problems is by using tax monies to create jobs. Before being elected mayor in 2001, Ray Caballero and Elliot Shapley formed the Community Scholars. When Ray Caballero was elected mayor of the city, he hired Veronica Escobar as his press secretary and Susie Bird as his executive secretary. Caballero's first order of business was to create a TIF district in order to give the city broader authority for seizing land and adding new taxes. When Caballero was defeated in the polls, Veronica Escobar went to work at the Community Scholars as the executive director. There she began to incubate future candidates for office. One of the first was Vince Perez. Jose Landeros was also drafted into the Community Scholars, where he remained until he was hired by Vince Perez at the county. Jose Landeros was the person coaching Claudia Ordaz during the city council meeting. The El Paso Children's Hospital is an example of how the public policy agenda is being used to artificially create economic prosperity through taxation. In 2007, the voters voted to tax themselves to build a children's hospital. Veronica Escobar expects the children's hospital to pay rent for the building that the taxpayers built. Vince Perez was elected into office in 2012. He immediately hired Jose Landeros and helped put Claudia Ordaz into office at the city. Vince Perez used Claudia Ordaz in an attempt to remain the chairman of the MPO just as the millions of dollars started to trickle in. An economy artificially propped up through tax revenues needs large pots of money to keep people working. Thus, it was important for them to control the MPO money. Vince Perez conspired with others in order to control a large pot of tax dollars. We hope you have enjoyed this episode of the Proteus Files. Martin Paredes and your host, Robo Pepe, will be back soon with the craziness of the political world.